Alright guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to install an A.O. Smith hybrid water heater. So I ended up buying an A.O. Smith hybrid water heater at Lowe's. Now I had somebody help me lift it up on the truck, and then I laid it down on its back. Now on the back of the box, it'll clearly be marked near the bottom, it'll say back. And you can lay it on its side, like I did here on the truck here. So it's advisable to bring your pickup truck, or if you have a trailer you can put it on, that would be good. You could stand it up if you feel safe enough, if you can strap it. But I personally would just put it on its back like I did here. Now I was by myself here. My wife can't help me with this. It's too heavy for her. It weighs 200 pounds. So if you have a friend that could help you, you both could probably move it to where you need to put it. At least get it off the truck with two guys, would be no problem. But I had to use my tractor, put it on the forks. And then I was able to lift it up and put it on the ground. And then I was able to lift it up and put it up vertically. Now the side you see with the sticker showing the picture, that's the front of the water heater. Now because this has a heat pump on it, it's got a refrigerant in it, and I did have it laying on its side. Once you stand it up straight like this, you want to leave it like that, straight up and down, for at least a couple hours before you go starting it. So you'll have plenty of time to hook everything up before you start it up again. That's to get the oil and all the refrigerant back settled down again. Then once inside, I cut the box along the bottom. There's a dotted line there where it says cut along the dotted line, and the box should lift right up. Now along the bottom of the water heater, there's going to be a box there. Actually, there's two small boxes. This is the automatic shutoff valve, and there should be a sensor there also. So being by myself, I had to figure out a way to be able to lift this thing up and put it in the place where I need to put it. So I got a strap, and the rest of the strap I wrapped it around the top and tied it to the main strap so it won't tip over, and that's how I got it in. So here I got it up high enough to put it onto the drain pan. Now the drain pan is sitting on, I think there's 4 inch by 8 inch by 16 inch concrete blocks. I wanted to raise it up off the ground. So it'll be sitting on concrete blocks basically, and this worked out really good. I was really surprised that it actually worked. So yeah, it worked out pretty good. So that was interesting, using a cherry picker or an engine hoist to lift this thing up. Now, if you have a friend that can help you, that you won't need that. But me, I'm just by myself. My wife can't help me with this. It's too heavy for her. So 2 guys, you should be able to, you know, hug this thing and pick it up and then put it to where you need it. So after I got it in the position, on the drain pan, I put it on these cinder blocks here. These are 4 by 8 by 16 cinder blocks. So it's basically 4 inches off the ground. On this pan, drain pan, and then the pan I had to plumb this outside of the building. I put this here for the condensation from the heat pump to go down here and outside also. This I could have put, this condensation tube, I could have put going across here and into the drain for my washer. But I figured this way it looks cleaner and it's closer. It's right here to go right outside. And I need this anyways. Your hot and cold are right here. So the inlet, mine is right here. This is my cold water inlet feeding the tank. And out, hot water goes out to there. Now, if you have your traditional electric or natural gas water heater, and you got it on top here, you can do this also. These are on top also. So when you get it, the water heater, it'll come with these capped here, okay? If you want to hook it up on the top, it's already open for you. Me, I had to take these off, these caps, and I'm going to put them on the top here, okay? But of course, you got to put thread compound and all that stuff, thread sealant. So you got your options to connect it through the top or through the side. So now what we have to do is get water to this thing. And then after that, we're going to hook up the electrical and get this thing going. So the cold water and the hot water inlet are all 3/4 inch pipe threads. I got a 3/4 inch brass elbow here. You want to use brass or stainless steel. You don't want to use galvanized on these things because they're going to rust. They're going to you could get even electrolysis and all that. So I wouldn't bother with galvanized. So we're going to put some thread sealant on here. Now I'm going to show you this one, and then the hot water one. I'll just do that off camera because it's the same deal. And I like putting a little bit on the inner threads too. Okay. You can use a pipe wrench or a good pair of channel locks for this. It's perfect. It's starting to get nice and tight. And I need to, let me see if I can go one more rev. Yep. Okay. And next we're gonna put this on here. Got to make sure I avoid this. So I'm gonna go around a little bit more. Okay. Your situation might be different. I mean, you may not need an elbow. You can hook up your line directly to that. But it depends on your situation. And that's pretty tight. So what I did is I ended up buying these here, okay? This end here will connect to here, and the other end is going to be for a PEX pipe, 3/4 inch. But we're going to use the side with the valve on it. So I got a little ahead of myself. This here is a shutoff, emergency shutoff. It's basically a ball valve here. You put this on your inlet where your water comes in. So right here is where you would put it. So in order for me to be able to screw this on, I got to take this portion off right here. And what you do, if you look under here, there is a, let me get my camera to focus here. There's a little spring clip here. You lift this up and you take this off right here. Okay? Put that aside, don't lose it. And then this comes right off. It's basically a little valve, little shut-off valve. So this we need to screw on here, and I need to put some thread sealant on there. And you want to get a wrench on that. Let's see if I can make it around one more time. Okay, let me see how that's going to work. Like that. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work good. And then the same deal, you put this back on, and we have to put this little clip on there. Okay. Now these come with a little plug here. It comes with an extension for it, which is this right here. Now if you put this on the, if you're connecting this shut off to the upper portion, this will reach where the controls are, but because this is a farther distance, we have to use this little extension here. And you just plug these things together. It only goes on one way. There, clicked into the place, and now we're good. Now we're going to hook it up to the controls. Okay, on the side of this control here, there is a place where you can put in, you can plug this in right here. Okay? And it only goes in one way. You can't stick it in 180. So you'll see, it'll only go in one way. And you just plug that in. There's a slight click. Now we'll just tidy up this cord here, and it should be good to go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put this T right here. And the reason for that is we're going to put this thermal expansion tank on here. This thing does exactly what the name says. It is it helps the if this builds up too much pressure, this will absorb a lot of the pressure. And this is also good if you're turning the water on and off real fast. This will absorb that shock. So these work really good. So we're going to hook this up. Just a little more. That should do it. So this expansion tank, you can mount this from the top like this or from underneath, which I'm going to do from underneath because I got my hot water going here. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put some thread sealant on the threads. And we're just going to screw this on. Now they do sell mounts for these things. You can mount these on the wall or whatever. Oh, there we go. Okay. If you can get a wrench on that thing. Well, that wrench is too thick. Actually, I can probably put my crescent wrench on there. They don't have to get these things super, super tight. Alright, that should do it. Alright. If you look here, my cold water inlet is here, and then the cold water is here. You can see we're on a bit of an angle here. So this is where I dug into my plumbing supplies that I had in my garage. And I remember I bought these a long time ago, and I thought maybe I'll use these one day. And they're a shark bite fitting, but on a 45. So I may actually be able to use this here, and it will work out just perfect. This way you don't put too much strain on the pipe and on the O-rings in here. So that should work out pretty good for us. So we're going to cut up some pipe and connect it. Okay, now we need to find out how much of this we need. Alright, let me go with this here. So I forgot to turn my mic on for this part of the video, but this tool is kind of nice. It deburrs the end, or it actually puts a chamfer on it, and it marks the depth of when you push it in. It marks the depth so you know how deep it went in. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Now I like to use silicone lubricant around the very front portion of the pipe. That way when you push it in, it lubricates the O-ring, and that's what I'm using right there. I'm going to put a link to all the things that I'm using in the description under the video. And you just push it in just like that, and you see with the line, it shows you how deep it is. And the same thing with the other side. Silicone lubricant. Now I'll put my shark bite fitting in. I just pushed in nicely. And I have one more piece to put in. And here we're just gonna cut it. Better to be a little bit longer on something like this, where you're limited how much you can push it in. And that pushed in nicely. And that's where the line is. A little more silicone lubricant. It's always good to keep those O-rings lubricated like this. They last much longer. That's good. All right guys, there's one more thing. This is the actual sensor. So right here, there's two little metal prongs. When these two make contact, it shuts the automatic shutoff off. Meaning when this touches water, it makes a contact, and it shuts this automatic valve off. So you don't flood your whole house or your basement or wherever you have your water heater. And how this works is we're going to mount this either to the tank right at the bottom of the drain pan or to the pan right at the bottom of the drain pan. Ideally you want this here, the plastic, touching the bottom of the pan, and which makes these two prongs, I don't know, within a millimeter of touching that pan, the bottom of that pan. So if this ever leaked and you had just a little bit of water in there and it makes contact with these two little terminals here, it'll shut this switch off. You don't risk flooding your whole house. And the way this works, which I don't really like, I wish it was more like a clip, like an adjustable clip, but this has a little sticky thing on the back of it here. You get this and you just stick this to either, like I said, the tank or the side of the drain pan. We're going to stick this right at the bottom of the drain pan here. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's right here. And like I said, it's touching the bottom of the pan, and which makes those prongs very, very close to the pan. So if a little bit of water gets in there, it'll shut the valve off. Okay, now the other end of the sensor, that's going to plug in here. You pull this little cap off, and it plugs in right, just like that. Now this cord, we're going to tidy this up a little bit. We'll put it with this one here, make it look pretty. Well, close to pretty anyways. I don't know, something like that. That way there's not wires everywhere. Okay, I think we're all set. Okay, so now that the plumbing's all connected, we have to do the electrical. Now, I don't like giving electrical advice, but what I can tell you is this runs on 220 or 240. It only has two hot wires and a ground. There's no neutral. Same thing here. I wired it to have a neutral, but I'm not going to connect the neutral, obviously, because this doesn't need it. So that's all I'm going to tell you. If you can't figure that out, then you shouldn't be doing electrical work. So there's two hots and a ground, and that's it. Two hots coming in and a ground, and that's all you need for this to connect it. So I'm going to do that next. I'm not going to show you me doing that because, again, I don't like giving advice and showing you how to do stuff with electrical because it's very dangerous. And again, if you don't understand two hots going in and a ground and no neutral, then you shouldn't be doing electrical work, okay? So I'm going to get this thing going. I got the tops capped here for the hot and cold. The plumbing's all connected. I got the drain connected, the valve here for the overpressure, whatever you call it, that's connected. So again, I'm just going to do the electrical work and we're going to get this thing going. Okay, so this is all connected. Once you know everything's connected, double check, triple check everything, and turn the water on and let the tank fill up. And while it's filling, open up the hot water in one of your faucets. That way, while this is filling, air is coming out of there and is enabling the tank to fill up. Once the tank is full and there's water coming out, shut the water off, shut the water to the faucet off. Then turn the power on to the water heater here, and it'll automatically go into hybrid mode and start heating up the water using the heating elements in here. This won't kick on, the heat pump mode won't kick on unless the ambient temperature is between 37 Fahrenheit and 120 Fahrenheit. Then you can, once it reaches that temperature, you could use the hybrid mode. And at the same time, the water temperature, if it's less than 55 Fahrenheit, the heat pump won't work either until the electric elements heat the water up. Once it gets to that range where it's okay, then the heat pump, you can run that all the time, full mode if you want to. I will let you know in a future video how this is doing and how it works and how I like it. And just stay tuned. All right, guys? So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.